What's going on YouTube? Riding Frame here with not an update on my 62, even though that's currently just what I'm working on. But um, this is gonna be like a how-to or like a little tip video for some of you guys. Um, so I wanted to do a little bit more with my 62, and I wanted to use a Mexican blanket since I'm going with kind of an old school hot rod theme. I had this idea to put, maybe some Mexican blanket in the trunk, maybe some Mexican blanket material on the trunk or, on the back of the trunk lid, something. Just put a little bit of Mexican blanket in it or just, have a Mexican blanket setting in the trunk, kind of rolled up or something. But so I came up with this idea. I mean, it's not new. I didn't invent it, but it came to me just, laying in bed thinking about it. How could I make this look nice and not print it on just paper or decal paper? I wanted it to look really nice and look like fabric. And I was like, I have an inkjet printer for my computer, and I was wondering if I could just send a piece of fabric through it like I would a piece of paper. Maybe it would work. The model builder in me thought it might. So, um, So what I did was I researched it a little bit on the internet here and there, and I found a ton of videos of like, actually women doing this, but they were printing out pictures on the fabric and sewing it to t-shirts and I was like, okay, it can be done. So I did it the wrong way. I did it the in a hurry way. I wouldn't recommend doing it this way, but I'm going to tell you guys the right way. This is what I got from doing it the wrong way. There's my Mexican blanket. It's the right size. It is cloth. It's an old t-shirt that I had just laying around that I wasn't going to wear anymore. It was stained and all that stuff. So I just cut off a good size and put it on a piece of paper and sent it through the printer, and that's what I got. So how I did it was I took a piece of my piece of t-shirt and I just a little bit smaller than the paper actually, because I taped mine onto the paper, which is not the right way to do it. I will 100% do not recommend doing it that way, because not only does it it makes the paper kind of funky, it kind of curled it up on the ends, and it makes the paper really thick with your material on it. And I wouldn't recommend using t-shirt material. It's just what I had at the time, so this is what I used. I would recommend using like a bandana material, like an old, you can go get like a white bandana, I think, for like 99 cents at the store. I'd recommend using like a piece of bandana, or you can just go to the fabric store, probably get a good yard of fabric that's, kind of a thin white material. Um, so the right way to do it, which I didn't have the stuff, so this is why I didn't do it. You're gonna need, just your inkjet printer for one. Then you're going to need, regular old white, I think it's like 8.5 by 11 paper. And you're also going to need some spray adhesive, like Elmer's, just spray glue. Or 3M has some spray glues. There's lots of spray glues out there. And then just, a pair of scissors. What you're going to do is just set your piece of paper on top of your fabric and cut it out to fit, just cut it a little bit over, actually, because you're going to cut off the excess. So cut your fabric a little bit over the edge, all the way around. Then you're going to take your spray glue and just hit your whole paper with it. Get the whole paper, and then take your fabric and set it over top. Get it all pressed down. If you want to, a lot of people I've seen doing it recommend using the house, just your clothes iron, and ironing out all the wrinkles in it to make it nice and smooth and just get the glue to stick a little better. They'll just iron it right onto the paper once it's spray glued and it's stuck on there. And then, flip your paper over and cut it to the exact same size as your paper all the way around. So it's a nice, just clean line. It almost looks like a sheet of paper. It just has a fabric glued on top. And then, find whatever kind of fabric you want. I mean, if you want to do, this will work, if you want to do cheetah on your seats, if you want to do cheetah print on your seats, or on your back piece there, or just cheetah inserts, or whatever, honestly. I mean, whatever kind of material, or you could even make up your own design if you wanted to. You know, you could make, I mean, the ideals with this are endless. From, custom floor mats with, your name on them to anything. Actually, I think, I'm going to be using this for a lot of other things. So, but, so yeah. So, get whatever print you wanted. I searched, just, Googled Mexican blankets and got a bunch of pictures and just went through them until I found the one I wanted. The one I felt like would go with my car. And yeah, I took it in my my Photoshop on my computer, got it down to the size I needed it, and did a test print to make sure it was the right size. And once I had all that, um, I just put my piece of paper in with the cloth on. I did it. It depends on your printer. Some printers are different, but mine, the printer or the fabric had to be cloth side down, so it would come up this way and then print on the cloth. But your printer may be different. Just make sure it's gonna, the cloth side is gonna get printed on, not your paper side. Yeah, and then once it's printed out, just cut it out to the size you want it, or cut it out, whatever you want. I just cut mine out the size of the, that I had it printed on the paper. This is all just that size on the Mexican blanket. I wouldn't recommend using the t-shirt just because it did get caught right there. I don't know if you can see it, but it's not that big of a deal, honestly. It's going to be kind of folded up and stuff inside the car, or maybe in the trunk, or on the deck lid. I don't know. But, so yeah. So hopefully it works for everyone. I'm going to cut it short, hitting the 7-minute mark. So, like always, till next time, later.